Hey, hey, what's going on, everybody? JC in the house. Tonight's topic is do men fear commitment? Special guest with me tonight, Miss Sonia. So yeah, everybody gather around. JC in the house. You know, yeah, everybody gather around. What's going on, Smith? What's going on with you, man? Everybody gather around tonight. Topic should be pretty good. Hey, what's going on?
Hello, everyone. Good.
What's going on with you?
Well, I decided to do this live.
Uh oh.
I've even wrote some notes.
Uh oh.
So whenever you ready to jump, I'm ready.
Okay. Now, I do want to start off by as far as do men fear commitment? I feel that some men do, some men don't. It all depends on the man. Sometimes reason why men won't commit because he hasn't found his rib or he hasn't found a soulmate, or a lot of times he just want to play the field and wants to be with multiple women, or he doesn't, or he just fears just being vulnerable to a woman, or just having sex with one woman for the rest of his life. So, what's your thoughts on that?
Okay, so I agree with the part where you say some men do and some men don't. Um, I say that some men don't just because a lot of men feel like if they commit too soon, meaning as far as like a maturity level, age, and things like that, they feel like they missing out on a bulk of women that's still out there. So that's a fear of not wanting to commit. But on the flip side of that, you do have men that are more than willing to commit because they've dated um, their share of women. They have that experience under their belt, and they kind of get the feel of different women. So in that aspect, they're ready to commit. They're ready because they've dated enough women to know, okay, I don't like this type of a woman. I do like this type of a woman, and in this woman, I feel like I got everything I need. So I'm ready to go ahead and commit.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you on that. I mean, because like the younger, older guys, they tell me like, look, you need to have experience as far as you want to go out there and date a few women to know this person right for you. You don't want to just jump in so soon, just being so young in the game. Why not go out there and date a few people, and your mindset may change 5 2 years from now. You know what I mean? A lot of brothers,
Right.
they'll tell you as far as get married, as far as your mid 30s, early 40s, because you want to actually like live life,
Mhm.
get something to be established in life, get your finances, get your credit in line before you decide to get married and stuff.
And then, I mean, I just want to, in addition to that, add the fact that sometimes it just come down to the person itself. Our parents, our mother and our father, they are our first teachers. So the way that we see our parents carry on in relationships, how they interact in relationships, things that they may accept or not accept in relationships can also shape the way that we look at marriage and commitment. If you have a parent that's not fully committed or like dating multiple people, that can shape the way that you see commitment in general. You know what I mean? Um, and that shapes your paradigm when it comes to relationships and the way that you view them. So it's not like one answer.
One size
This
fit
can
all,
be
yeah.
looked at in multiple uh views or directions, mindsets.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you on that. I mean, but I feel like if you didn't even see your mom and dad married or have a successful relationship, and you might use that as a crutch to want something stable. You know, I want something stable because I didn't grow up in that type of environment. So it all depends on how you look at it. It all depends on your core value, what you want out of the situation. You know, like I said, a lot of brothers, like I said, they fear marriage, but they just fear just being vulnerable to somebody and committing themselves to someone the rest of their life. You know, they feel like there's always somebody else out there that can, you know, please them or might not be compatible with, you know.
I try to look at it from all aspects versus just one. A person growing up in a household where the parents were not married could also trigger them to want marriage because they see the difference. They see how life is without marriage, and being single and being a single parent, things like that. Some people take that into account and do just the opposite. Not necessarily because I didn't see my mom or my dad get married, that I'm not going to get married. I may say, okay, mom had a difficult life not being married. I am going to get married. But again, that comes down to the individual themselves, environment, childhood. It is so many different aspects that come to mind when you think about commitment in marriage.
Yeah, but my whole thing is, as a man, you have to know what you want. You have to be honest with your intentions because a lot of guys dudes they'll sit up here and string a woman along 4 or 5 years, and a lot of women they'll allow to be strung along that long. You know, I feel like a man knows this is why this is someone his soulmate. You know, I'll say like 2 years maximum. You know, but like I
Okay,
said,
let's talk about that. Let's talk about that because I get a lot of rhetoric on my Facebook posts about the time limit. And I know like everyone is subject to their own opinion, and I'm
yeah,
open to all opinions.
yeah.
But some people look at that time limit as a means of force. If you say you don't want to be married in 2 years, and I may want to take 3, 4 years, like let's elaborate a little bit on that because not everybody think that that 2 year period is enough time. Some people think that's too soon. You don't know a person in 2 years, et cetera, et cetera. So what do you think about that?
I mean, I feel like you're dating somebody exclusively. I don't mean you're dating multiple people. Saying like you guys have agreed to be monogamous, y'all exclusive. Then y'all should be going to the point where it's a courtship and you're getting arranged for marriage. So you guys are going out, seeing each other's parents, are going out to barbecues, etc. It's getting to the point where it
Hmm.
becomes serious. It's not just oh, we're just hanging out, going here and there. This is something that I really want to do. This is a person I feel this is my soulmate. So why not I would just waste her time and not put a ring on her finger, and I know it's not going nowhere. A lot of guys they'll sit there
Okay,
and
so
sell you a dream 2, 3 years. Now you in a relationship 5, 10 years, and it's like, damn, you wasted all this time.
so what about people because just going back to this 2 year time frame, some people can wear masks. And what I mean by that is that you can meet someone and they can show you certain parts of their character and hold back others. They can show you the nice side of them. They can show you that person that, everything that you admire or desire of a person or an ideal mate. But then by like year 2.5, now the real person has come out. That real version of them has come out now. That's what I was speaking to as far as some people saying, well, 2 years is not enough. I don't particularly know this person and da, 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 all of the excuses that people make.
Oh well,
So what do you say to that? What do you say about people who are wearing a mask? You know, they're only showing you certain aspects, certain parts of themselves that they want you to see, but have yet to uncover that they may be a narcissistic type of a person, or um a selfish person, those things that people would definitely say no, if they saw that on the surface, they wouldn't even continue on dating that person.
Yeah, you're right about that. But I mean, it's always like red flags that you see. I mean, it all depends on the part of your core values and what you put up with. And there's has to be stuff where there's non-negotiable. There's stuff that you can reason with, and there's stuff that's you know way out of left field that you're not going to put up with. So it all depends on the individual, you know. But yeah, like I said, people do put on masks. There are a lot of wolves in sheep's clothing, so it is tough to figure out who the person is. But I feel like you have like a sense. I feel like a lot of women they have like an intuition, like this person good or not. Like like meet them around like what I said before, meet your parents. Meet parents, meet friends who know you, who may see the person in a different light. Have conversation with them. We don't try to use their judgment
Right.
for to cloud your judgment, but just try to get feedback. This person for me, as pastor, as the friends, as coworkers, like, okay, this the person. You know, but then too,
That's true.
it could be you still gotta make the right decision for your own self if that's what you really want. I just said like,
Okay, so let
okay,
me ask you this then, because I did take these notes. What about the person? I'm not going to necessarily say a guy, because that doesn't mean like every woman wants to be married either.
yeah, yeah.
What about the person that they know themselves well enough that they're not commitment material? What about the person that knows that they're only good for a year and a half? They're only good for 2 years. And they know that they can't handle something like a commitment, because a commitment is not just a word that you throw around. A commitment is something that you value, it's something that you stick to. Um, it's not something where things get just a little bit of rough and you walk off. It's a commitment. You're tied to it. What about those people? Should they get a pass because like they just know they're not commitment material?
I always feel like you always got to figure people out as far as you have similar core values. I always preach core values. Like I said, if this not the person that you feel like you can be with long term, why string the person along? Why go through the motions? Deep down, it's not what you
People
really
do
want.
that all the time. People do that all the time.
Yeah,
They know they're not going to marry you. However, they like the benefits,
yeah, like the
they
benefits.
like to bring to the table.
Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, they do like the benefits, but a lot of times, a lot of women they all have your intuition to know right from wrong, but sometimes the sex may cloud it. So it all depends on the individual, though.
So are you one of those people who believe in no sex before marriage?
No, I'm not. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you should have a good grasp of who the person is, as far as are they punchable, are they talking to you, are they there for you, as far as give you undivided attention, give you your love language, and how consistent are they, do their words act reflect their actions.
Okay, so let me ask you this then, because you are in fact a man. Um, do you think that all of these type of a questions should be asked like at the first date? Because you have some people that after their dating experience they say, well, you should have asked that at up front, you should have asked that at first. But then on the flip side of that coin, you have people saying, well, you'll scare a person off if you ask them those real questions up front,
I
like
mean,
first
you
date.
trying to get a. you kind of see how they react. You try to give them the hard questions. You don't want to. You want to have your own, like I said, you want to have your own keyword, your own questions to ask people. That's important to you. That's important to your core value, whatever is important to you. If somebody that has kids, don't have kids, what kind of job he has, like anything that's really important to the individual, that's what you need to be asking. Does she smoke? Does she, you know, mismanage money? Like stuff that's important to you. You need to be asked those type of questions, and you leave people out.
Right. Okay, so the original question was, do men fear commitment? So, I've heard things like men change for who they want to. You could be a good woman, you can be this phenomenal woman that has everything together, work, your own money, no kids, you have an education. But if you're just not right for that man, he won't commit to you.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about that?
I mean, I feel like, you can have everything going on, but y'all might not just be compatible. Y'all might have similar core values, similar interests, but y'all may not be compatible as far as the direction y'all want to be in. And it's okay because that's
Right.
that's how life is. That's how So what now? Can I talk to, or is it just you two? We can talk later as far as a different live, but right now, um, talking to Sonya right now. But anyways,
I'm not
even
I'm
though
not
that's
trying to
stressing though.
hog last, so I don't mind if someone else wants to intervene and give their aspect of the whole subject. Um, if we do everything in a timely fashion. But those were like some of the questions that I had. I did have another aspect that I was looking at, and this was just solely about the men because the question was, do men fear commitment?
Yeah.
Some men, they commit to like their friends, and I say them number one
Oh yeah, I
because a
was about
lot
to
of
say something
men
about
are
that too. Yeah, I was
they're
about to say
loyal
something
to
about that.
their
I made a
friends.
post about that too. Like when they,
Yeah,
you're committed to your music career, your rap career, your sports, you're all in, but coming out to your woman, you're kind of like, oh, one foot in, one foot out. That's what I'm saying. If a man loves you, he cares about you, he's gonna go after you. He's gonna make sure that you have his last name and there's a wedding. There's not gonna be that many like hesitant. Maybe as far as the finances, that might be an issue, but as far as he will make sure that it it gets resolved and y'all walking down the aisle and get married. There's not gonna be no, are you like me or do you love me? Like you ain't gonna sit there and question and wonder a man's true intention for you.
single status and like I want to stay there. Um, but you'll see him commit to friends, commit to, family members, mom, sis, aunt, brother, cousin, barber, sports,
Oh yeah, I sent out a post
so
about
it's
that
not,
too, barbers and stuff too, sports teams. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like I said
I,
before, no, go on.
yeah, I see you committing to other things. I see that it's not that you have an issue with commitment, you have a issue with committing to one person or to one female. Not that you don't commit because I see you committing to other things.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, like you said, you commit to everybody besides your woman. But I feel like a lot of guys, they still want to play the field. Though, they still feel like there's always somebody out there. And the fact that we have like a Pokemon mentality where you gotta catch them all, like your one woman is not enough for you. Or it's like looked down upon you just with one person. Like damn, you just with one person, why not be with this person, that person? So it's a lot of brothers is giving guys talks and advice like, damn, bro, you not with this many women, like you only still with one person, like come on now, that's not good. Like so it's like men are being encouraged to have sex and have multiple partners, and women are being encouraged to close their legs, and so it's really contradicting. So
You know what? You bring up a good point. I think that, which also ties into the subject, are men afraid of commitment? I think that a lot of men, it's not so much that they're afraid. They hang a lot of men who are not committing, or they're quote quote free. You know, they have the freedom to come and go as they please. They have that freedom to sleep with whoever they want to sleep with tonight, tomorrow, and the next day. um that in itself, and one and being called a lame or like not cool because he's committing to one woman while everyone else, they're quote quote free. That's another reason that a lot of men don't want to commit to. And I don't even know if we can call them men because they haven't reached a certain point of maturity, to care what the homies or what your friends are thinking, about you committing to the one woman that you love or that you know is going to be there for you.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like as men will sit there and praise everybody else, but going down to our woman, we also want to do the bare minimum. And like I said, you gotta. That's why I said women gotta, as far as accept, raise their standards of as far as the expectation of men. It's not just accepting the bare minimum, you know. Because a brother, he go hard for his
Right.
job, he go hard for his sports, he go hard for a music career, but you expect the man to just be do the bare minimum for you, and you're accepting it, you know. Or he's just being lazy, complacent, don't want to take you out, don't want to call you when you feel like it, see you when he want to see you. So it's not a thing on the women too, or allowing type of behavior, just
Right.
allowing the man to be inconsistent, not playing dates, not having any kind of game nights, not giving you quality time, not hearing you, not listening to you, uh,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Not willing to sacrifice hanging out with the boys, watching this game just to be with you, maybe just to cuddle, maybe just to watch a movie or listen to music. So the hell that hurts women too if far as they want a man to commit and stuff because, you know, you're allowing that man to do whatever he wants to do. So that's what he want to keep doing. So gotta blame some of
So
the
do
women
you think
too.
that's a age do you think that's a age thing, a maturity thing, or an individual thing?
As far as what commitment.
Like just not committing and wanting to sacrifice like all of those things, hanging out, the partying, the clubbing, the strip club, the quote quote turn up.
I mean, I feel like maturity is it all depends on the individual. Some people are young to get it. Some people got to go through hula hoops to go through it. But every man comes to his own, and it depends on what he wants. If that's what he wants. He wants to be married. Some guys they want to be players. They want to be max womanizers. Like whatever fits you. Just be honest with yourself. Let the person you know you're dealing with, and don't string them along. That's all I got to say.
Right.
I think is that the worst scenario is to get married and you still acting like you're single and stuff. Like, you know,
That's the worst thing to do. Because there's a lot of people, I'm noticing this trend, where there's a lot of people, they know they should not have gotten married, and they may have done it to appease their partner, but they know in their heart of hearts they were not marriage material, ready for marriage, and they went on ahead and done it anyway. And in the marriage they're acting single, they're sleeping around with multiple people. I've heard people go as far, married people go as far as to say like they have a boyfriend or a girlfriend within the marriage. Like, how is that possible? How do you have a girlfriend and you are supposed to be quote quote committed to someone else? How
Yeah,
does that work?
it doesn't work. I mean, I feel like one person is enough, to be honest with you. I mean, as far as you working,
Um,
trying to, you said, but no.
not even so much that okay, like yeah, that person is enough. The commitment part of it, the commitment. If you make a commitment to something, you're supposed to see it through. When you go and you make that commitment as far as like standing in the eyes of God or whatever your belief system is, how do you go take these marriage vows, stand before God or the higher power or whatever you may label the Almighty? How do you go and take those vows, make that commitment, not only make that commitment in front of God, but to your partner who is supposed to be your partner for life, but then turn right around and, sleep around and just neglect the vows and neglect the commitment altogether. That goes right back into what I was saying about a person that knows that they're not ready for commitment. They know. But if you have been given a ultimatum, or forced or coerced in any type of way to get married, that's a recipe for disaster
Yeah, like I said,
because
no
you were
one.
not ready for such a commitment, although you've done it anyway.
Yeah, like I said, nobody has to force you, hold you by your hand. 'Cause a lot of times there's a lot of peers, family members, like, oh, y'all been getting together for 3, 4 years, when y'all gonna get married. Like it's a lot of that's going on.
Yep,
So, like I
yep,
said, you got to have a vision for yourself and your spouse. And is that core line 3 to 4 years? It may take 4 or 5 years, but if that's what y'all planning, that's what you two agree to, then definitely y'all need to work on. That's why I say everybody's different.
right.
I'll say really for me, I'll say 2 years. Like I said, if I'm dating you 2 years, I'm like, I kind of know this is business calling or it's not. Like I don't need to be going on 3, 4,
Right.
5 years stringing. Like, nah, I'd rather just let you go and find somebody else because maybe we're not working this stuff out.
I think that people need to start before you even ask a person, are they ready to commit? Have that understanding on both aspects from both people, the man and the woman,
Yeah.
their understanding about commitment altogether and what it means. Some people think after the wedding, that's it, and that no hard work goes into the marriage.
Nah, the question
Or,
never ends. Nah, the question never ends. Okay, Justin said, I don't think it's memory fair. I think it's putting our all into telling someone who won't match our efforts. That's for putting in what we feel we're receiving. What you
That's a
thoughts
good
about that?
good way
Yeah,
of
actually,
looking
that's
at
a
it.
good one though. That's a good one though. Some guys feel like they're putting their all, and it's like it may not be receptive, but you give your all to a woman, you do, and it's a good woman, loyal and faithful. That's why you gotta evaluate her character, her morals. What you're looking at her body and stuff. I had made a post about that earlier. About the strippers and the Instagram models and stuff. Like that's cool for her to look at, but who's gonna be
Porn.
there for your good time, your bad time? Who sees you when the camera's off? Who's there to deal with you when you're sick
Right.
in the hospital bed? Like that's what you gotta look at. You can't just look at, okay, wow, she has big breasts, oh wow, she has a fat butt. Like get more like what's the character like? Is she a good mother? Is she motherly?
hmm
Is
Let
she
me ask you this, Justin, because you said that men don't fear commitment. It's all about like you don't want to pour so much into a person and not receive that back. Do you think that's a matter of getting to know that person? Do you think that that's more about investing the time into getting to know a person at their core values? Because what I've learned is that humans, they do change when they want to, but you have those set of core values like I was talking about at the beginning. Those core values come from the way that you were raised, the person you were raised by, the environment that you were raised in. That's where those core values come from. So, so that you're not investing into a person a whole lot, as he was saying, and not that person not matching your effort, you have to get to know that person. You have to invest that time into knowing that person beyond their image, beyond what they look like in the physical, and get to know their heart, get to know what's in their mind, the way that they think, and not just the surface things. What kind of car they drive, where they work, how much money they make. No, get to know that person, and let them invest just as much into you as you are into them.
Exactly. It should
That's how
be.
you don't get caught up with that.
Yes, exactly. It should go hand in hand. You know, it should be pouring more into her, and she's not pouring back to you. You're supposed to balance each other out. You know.
Yeah, I seen this video on Instagram where Nick Cannon was doing a video. Um, I forget. I think his name is like Uzo. He's a Muslim. Um, and they were doing this like one-on-one interview, and he asked Nick Cannon a question along the lines of like, "Who do you think should lead?" And I like Nick Cannon's response. His response, he said, it isn't like one person leading; it's us both as a team. We're both on the same team. So it's not about I lead and you take my follow, or I'm leading and you take my follow. No, we're both leading. We're both on one team, and we should act as so. It should never be a power trip or a competition about who's leading. We're both leading,
Yeah, because
and we should match to realize that.
yeah, you're right about that. You know, where some areas you may be stronger, he may be weak, and vice versa. So find out what
Right.
y'all can balance each other out. You know.
Yeah, like the things that I'm weak in, maybe those are your strengths. The
Yeah.
things that I'm strong in, I'm able to complement your weaknesses in that way. But you have to be secure in yourself, to not take things personal when a person is strong in one area that you're not, and take it as a means to think that, well, I should be following this person because they're strong in that aspect. We all have natural talents and things that we're good at, things that are our strengths, and you have to be with someone that's compatible and that meets you at that level so that you guys can complement one another and not
Yeah.
be competitive, or in competition with each other in one relationship.
Yeah, like I said, put some of that pride and ego to the side and like, okay, yeah. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Like, oh, I don't understand this. And be acceptive of criticism, you know. How can I done this better? You
Right.
know, I always try to critique yourself, each and every day.
Yeah, I think self-love, uh being secure in yourself, um all of those things will help you to feel, secure in yourself, and knowing your strengths and weaknesses, and being open to someone else critiquing you or showing you something about yourself that you may not see or may not know.
Yeah, like I said, it's all about like teamwork, It's gonna be good days, bad days, but y'all still try to maneuver so y'all can be one.
Mhm. And it's not a good thing to we have to pay attention in these relationships, men and women. If someone lets you know, no matter how much invested you are into that person, if they let you know that they're not the commitment type, you should listen. Because I think all too often, after spending time with the person, dating them, and learning certain things about them, it's hard to unattach your feelings to that. And then this person, because you're invested emotionally, you don't really want to let this person go, even though they told you, hey, I'm not the commitment type. I don't see myself committing to like one person and because of those feelings, you end up getting hurt because you're holding on to it. Although this person has told you and sometimes even show you, they can even show you cheating and small commitments, just not showing up on time, things like that. There's always red flags to show you who a person is.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You always see red flags, the person not taking you serious, not taking you priority, puts everybody else ahead of you, or maybe you're just workaholic and don't want to, they want to take time off, always working, which not nothing wrong with working, but you gotta have some kind of
Right.
balance. I don't want to like plan nothing like a vacation or just a getaway or a new movie or art museum or something like that, so y'all can do something different besides y'all just working, 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 occasionally having sex and maybe watch a movie, but just do something different, it's inside that relationship. You know.
Right. Yeah, that commitment thing, it's something you definitely have to be ready for. It's not something that you play around with or that you do to please anyone else if it doesn't please you first.
Yeah, if it don't please
You
you,
know,
then yeah, don't please you, then don't even go for it. I don't care what a person say, you know what's right. What your heart say, it's not
yeah.
right. Cause I'd rather
Mhm.
her be mad now than to be mad later. After y'all done already said I do and stuff. Now it's real.
Or what about people who, they stay together a long time and they feel like, I've invested all this time into this relationship. May as well, they have that type of an attitude. May as well, although this may not be the person, you should not be getting married to this particular person, but because now you've invested all of this time, you don't want to give it up. You want to save face and you want to make it look like on the surface that it is working or that it did work and that you didn't just throw in the towel or that you lost.
Yeah. Ms. Watts said I have to let my sister know they have given all their themselves in their relationship. Yeah, women, y'all do this, y'all do tend to give so much to a man and don't get that much in return. So, you know,
Mhm.
the women y'all do tend to love harder than men. We kind of just throw the white flag when things gets tough and try to go somewhere else, but y'all try to stick it out.
Yeah, the grass looks so greener on the other side, but your grass will look just as green if you watered it.
Yeah,
If you took care of your grass, maintained it, groomed it, invested in it, put the time into it, it'll look just as good.
yeah. Like I said, you don't try to reinvent yourself, and you're really just wasting each other's time. Y'all not on the same page. Y'all don't have the same core values compatible, and don't just stay in just because y'all have kids, just because y'all been there a long time. Just know when to let go. Sometimes it happens. Y'all may get in a situation y'all been together. It's like we don't see each other eye to eye, and we just feel like it'd be best for us to go our separate ways and meet somebody else.
Yeah, that's another thing. A lot of people do. They're caught into like religion and things like that, and just because of the fear of because of the religious aspect. To me personally, I feel like religion is a fear tactic. Because you holding yourself to those standards of and the way that your life should be. And some people commit for those reasons. They don't want to feel like they're quote quote shacking up, you know. So they'll go ahead, get married, and you're not even happy with this person, but because you're trying to do things in the right way, or back to that time invested thing, you just go ahead and commit to that person because just for the hell of it. And you're not even happy.
Yeah, like I said, your happiness need to be first priority. You don't see yourself going nowhere. Don't lead this person on. Just cut it at the root and move forward. The person find her blessing, let him find their blessing. Don't sit there and sabotage a person's husband or wife just because you want to be selfish.
get the selfish part of it. I see this in a lot of men, and this is not a men bashing segment, but I see a lot of selfish men that knows they have good women, and they'll commit to you so nobody else can have you.
Yeah.
They'll commit to you and keep you tied into the situation or the relationship to avoid, this woman finding something better,
Yeah. I mean,
her
sometimes.
finding someone better than him,
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, a lot of these guys sit there, put a ring on your finger just so you can't go nowhere, but you still miserable, sitting like in your knees met, and you feel like there's always somebody else out there for you, but so you feel like you trapped because you in that situation, have been together a while, and they might have kids together. So it all depends on the individual. What's going on, Latanya? How are
right?
you tonight?
Wow.
Oh yeah. But as far as commitment, and like I said, it all depends on the individual. If you're mature enough, you're ready, you'll make it happen.
It does come down to an individual. It comes down to that individual person, um, what they want out of a person, what they want out of commitment. I also think that the way that a person is raised plays a strong, it has a strong impact on the way that person may view marriage and commitment. Um, the environment, most people date what's available to them, whether that be the neighborhood, whether that be their jobs, where they hang out. People date what's available to them.
Yeah.
And the people that get a little experience in it, they know to go outside the neighborhood and date someone different. Or if they're trying to get out of that cycle of always dating what's available to them, they'll step outside the environment and, go in a different direction and try to date different people, just so that they're not caught in that cycle of always getting the same results from the people that are closer.
Yeah, like I said,
But there's,
no, I was just gonna say like you gotta up your critique, and your resume as far as what you allow, You gotta have a standard about who you are and what you're gonna put up with, and know who you are as a woman, as a man, and don't compromise, don't settle for less. That you know that you're worth more, you know.
absolutely. Nobody should settle for less,
No.
whether that be men or women. No one should settle for less than what they deserve. And I find that a lot of people have a hard time with just being single, just being alone. I'm not like advocating that everybody just drop their mate and be single, but sometimes life requires that just so that you can get your head together, just so that you can focus on self and go within and learn about yourself, learn about your desires, understand that life is about no one else or taking care of anyone else until you've taken care of yourself first. It's okay to be alone for a certain period of time, to readjust your thoughts, to be okay with yourself, to love yourself. So many people are in toxic relationships because they don't want to be alone, or they don't want to feel like, I've let this person go and somebody else got them. It's
Yeah.
okay to be by yourself. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah, it is. You gotta know who you are. Be single. Be comfortable being with yourself before you try to be with somebody else. Because if you're not happy with yourself, then the other person is not gonna make you happy. Happiness comes from within yourself. You know, you be good
Absolutely.
with or without somebody. You gotta be comfortable and content. You know.
Absolutely. Self love is the best love.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's another thing I just wanted to talk about before I get off the live. Um, I think that a lot of people um, they put so many people ahead of themselves, and they don't take the time to love themselves, to be whole as an individual. And what happens is how you feel about yourself, you're going to attract that.
Hmm.
If you're in a relationship with someone right now, that person is your mirror. That person is mirroring back to you where you are in your life.
Yeah.
If you're dating someone that's toxic, that disrespects you, doesn't care about you, won't commit to you, take a good look at yourself. See how you are loving yourself. See how you are disrespecting yourself. See how is it that you won't commit to yourself. And that will explain why you're with the person you're with. That would explain how you attracted them into your life.
Yeah. Right
That
about
person is just a mirror. When you look at a mirror, it's reflecting back to you everything that's on the other side of it.
it.
Think
Hmm.
of your mate the same way.
Yeah, you're
You
right
want a
about
good
that.
person, you want someone that'll commit, do all of those things to yourself and for yourself first.
Yeah, you're right about
That's
that.
just my philosophy.
Yeah, you're right about that. As far as self love, make sure you go out there, exercise, get your massages, get you, make sure you take care of you because I mean, a lot of times you just end up you keep your job, keep working, working, but who will take care of you? There's nothing wrong with taking a few days off. May not even go nowhere, just to be in the house,
Absolutely.
just to relax and just to get your thoughts straight. Nobody has to know that.
Who can dispute self love?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Who can dispute self love?
yeah, exactly.
That's a love that no one can take from you. We get distracted, when we're in relationships because you're spreading yourself around to the kids, to your job, to your mate, you know, and then oftentimes you forget to take care of self. And in you forgetting to take care of self, you think that it's your partner's job to fulfill you, to make you happy, and to make you whole. And that's far from the truth. That's why you have to take care of yourself and do the things that fulfill you. Whether that means going back to school, whether that means meeting a short term goal, whether that means getting a promotion at your job, if that means going to get your nails done, getting a spa, taking a time for yourself, going to sit by the lake. There's so many things that you can do to just have an adult time out for self. Meditate. Get up an hour early just to have that time alone. Drink some hot or warm tea. A cup of coffee. There's so many things that you can do.
Yeah, you're right about that. You gotta figure out who you are and how's that self love, and just take time to relax and decompress.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, if there's not anything further that you want to discuss, I'm going to exit the live
Uh-oh.
and maybe someone else come on.
Okay. All right. Appreciate you joining me tonight.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
All right.
All right. I want to thank Miss Sonya for joining me tonight. Everybody have a blessed night. Thank you everybody for watching. Y'all feel free to share this video and check out my YouTube channel as well. Everyday Thoughts. So y'all like, share, subscribe to the channel. Everybody have a blessed night. Peace.